Hello everybody, it is your boy GZTV and we are back with another video. I can actually address you guys as YouTube. I'm used to doing the other stuff in my other videos. We are here to talk about Dexter Original Sin. I cannot fucking believe it. We have finally finished the first season of the show, a very successful one which merits a second season. They've already announced that they're doing a second season. That's very exciting, and obviously with the Resurrection series coming in less than a month, I knew I had to finish this up as quickly as I possibly can. Now in between now and Squid Game dropping here in a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks I think, we're going to be watching some MCU stuff, but for now, let's get to the topic at hand. We have Dexter Original Sin, the season finale. Some people thought it was going to be a series finale, some people thought it was only going to be a season, but my goodness, the way they executed this is like damn near no other TV prequel I've ever seen. And just kind of summarizes, Dexter saves Jimmy, defeats Aaron Spencer, and lands a full-time position at Miami Metro. He officially wins the day. I mean, obviously we expected that, we knew he was going to. He appears in the original series and all that stuff. Harry confronts Brian Moser, Debra joins the police academy, and Bobby's character development is key. Really dope stuff seeing Debra officially join Miami Metro at the end of the season. That's honestly not something I expected them to pull here, but that's a really dope thing. It can really lead into the next season and have Debra be an integral part already for Miami Metro, which is something I'm a really huge fan of here. Bobby, that whole thing, and you know, Brian Moser was a huge thing, and again, I never really expected them to expand that as much as they did, but it's kind of cool to see that Harry kind of hid him away from the public and didn't want to punish him similar to Dexter for all those years. I guess it was only right considering the neglect that Brian Moser went through as a child, and speaking of that, they did kind of show that in the show just to give the audience a full picture. Really cool stuff. The opening hints at a spinoff with Robbie Adel as Brian Moser, and it sets up potential future events in Original Sin. I mean, this fucking franchise isn't done yet. They have so much planned, and this show hints at that, and I really enjoy that. I would love to see a I Strike Killer spinoff. It does seem like it's doing too much. It does seem like at times the show is getting saturated, but man, a show with Brian Moser in it, that would be pretty fucking cool. Just his own thing. The show's debut season comes to a thrilling end. Dexter saves Nicky's life and defeats Aaron Spencer, and also lands a full-time position at Miami Metro. 3 victories in 1 episode. This is a big time one. This is a pivotal moment in Dexter's life. It's the first time he like rescued someone, pretty much first time his monster, his passenger, his monster, whatever you want to call it, really worked to the benefit of everyone around him. Elsewhere, Harry Morgan comes face to face with Brian Moser, and Debra decides to join the police academy. Again, really dope stuff. I echo the same things I say over and over, but those are the main ideas. Obviously the big stuff, Michael Lehman directed this one. Clyde Phillips actually wrote it, the showrunner, the producer of the show, so that's pretty cool. It's called Code Blues, ties up some loose ends, creating many more potential for a sophomore season. Now obviously when you watch the end of this season, you're like, yeah, they have to have another season. They have to close some stuff out. They have to develop some stuff more to lead into the original series, and that's exactly what they're about to do over the next couple of years, and I cannot fucking wait. That's a pretty entertaining season finale. It ties up some loose ends. It does end happily ever after, which has kind of been a controversial part of the show that people kind of wanted them to take a left turn on. They didn't do that, but still, really good finale. I mean, as a finale, as a standalone finale in itself, in general, when you're talking about television, it's a really dope thing. So we're just going to kind of get into a large discussion. That's going to kind of be the video, yada yada yada. So after the last episode's cliffhanger, which saw Dexter release Patrick Dempsey's Aaron Spencer on purpose so he would lead him to where he was holding Nicky hostage, the finale ties up this storyline and sees Dexter finally using his signature dumping ground of the ocean. So fucking iconic. I mean, things from the original show are really starting to creep in here. That's obviously the whole purpose of a prequel, and they're really doing it well here. Again, as a prequel, they are executing this about as well as they could. It's fucking incredible. The final episode does feel somewhat rushed. I mean, I will say that it doesn't come without its flaws. Not every episode is going to be absolutely perfect. Not every episode is going to be a magnum opus for this show. There's definitely some really good episodes throughout. I obviously had some critiques throughout, some a little bit more nitpicky than the others, but it's rushed. And obviously with the reveal of Spencer as the kidnapper, not really given much time to ruminate with the core cast of characters. I don't know, they do kind of get to the end of it. They do kind of reveal that, hey, Spencer's the kidnapper, and well, I do think the weak part of this episode is that you're kind of looking around the Metro homicide and no one's really reacting in a way. They haven't really processed it yet, and then boom, the season's over. I guess that gives potential for the second season for people to kind of recover from that, whatever. This should have been a shocking reveal, but even Harry Morgan is a bit nonplussed by it all. He's like, wow. Like, I think maybe a part of it could have been Christian Slater giving a slightly better performance, but it's like, he's like, oh wow, I never would have thought in a million years my friend would have kidnapped and tried to kill his fucking son. That's not just something to breeze over, man. That's like your best friend in the police force. You know what I mean? It is kind of weird. That part of this episode is very weird to me. I mean, obviously he has enough to deal with. Harry Morgan has a big storyline in this final episode. You know, he does come up against Brian Moser, who does spare him. It's understandable, like they do kind of cover up their tracks a little bit there with having Brian Moser in the storyline. There's a lot of animosity between Brian Moser and Harry Morgan, so it will be kind of cool as maybe a story for the next season. Obviously, they're probably not going to focus on the ice truck killer unless they make a dumb mistake and do that next season, but they're obviously not going to do that. It's going to be cool maybe as a side story to see how Harry Morgan and Brian Moser's relationship kind of develops. I do think that's going to be a very interesting thing and something I'm very excited about, is I think Robbie Adel and Christian Slater have really good chemistry with each other on the screen. Really cool stuff. I mean, obviously, he knows deep down that Harry is good for Dexter, but Brian reappears at the end to watch the Morgan family dancing at the bar. You know, obviously, he's a looming threat. Obviously, he's sticking around. We know from the original show that he's been stalking Dexter. He's very jealous of Dexter and all these type of things. Obviously, there is some disappointing aspects of the prequel. It's kind of a lack of character development of Reno Wilson's Bobby Watt. That's kind of disappointing, but this final episode cements his importance as he continues fighting for his life at the hospital as Debra Morgan turns up to visit him. So I think a very big positive in this episode in particular is that Bobby Watts is finally like growing some wings here and becoming a pretty important character in the storyline and having relations with other characters and stuff like that. I do enjoy that. He's also given a standing ovation by the Miami Metro family as he is finally on the mend. Plus, second season is greenlit. There's a lot more to explore with this character. I do think Bobby Watt could potentially be a highlight for next season, as we know he's not around in the original series, so they're gonna have to get all they can out of that character. And as for the legacy characters, they remain firmly in the background as the season comes to a close, with a huge focus on Dexter's fight to save Nicky and an extended look at one of the best villains in the series, again, the ice truck killer, which it is kind of cool how they executed him here. Again, I had my faults at first. You could watch all my past reviews on the channel. I had my doubts about them, you know, having the ice truck killer involved, but I think they're doing a good job. You know, the opening to the final episode is a clever and different approach, and it's that potential universe building. I do think the show creators are kind of teasing us with this whole Brian Moser thing and the fact that he damn near took up like 15 minutes of like a 50-minute episode. That's fucking sick. The beginning of this finale takes an interesting turn. Obviously, it focuses solely on Brian Moser's backstory as he moves from different foster homes before being dumped in an institution. They kind of just let him out to rot. And again, as the prequel has gone on and even watching the original series a little bit, you feel very bad for the guy. He was kind of fucked since birth. He went through a traumatic event, lashed out over it, became rebellious, and he hasn't recovered since. This show might have set up a spinoff in the final episode of its debut season. Seriously. This opening to the episode has a vibe of a backdoor pilot about it, and the creative team clearly have plans for the future ice truck killer. It doesn't seem like he's going to be laid to rest. Now, maybe they could use the next season to have like a mini little spinoff for him, but I don't know. However, aside from that brief meeting between Dexter and Brian earlier in the season, the separated brothers have another 15 years before they actually reconnect in the original Dexter series, so a spinoff is surely in the works. It would be kind of weird maybe to have him in the second season as much as they might. Robbie Atwell brings something different to the character of Brian Moser, and it's interesting to finally see what led him to commit murder and all the motivations. It's coming to light here, and it all links to a lack of support from a family unit, which is expected. The explanation of his motive for killing his other victims feels a bit too rushed and on the nose, but aside from that, the 10-minute opening sequence does a good job of setting up future events. Overall, an entertaining final episode and a promise of more action to come, but now it's all about, again, Michael C. Hall's return and resurrection coming up early next month. Can you guys fucking believe it? Michael C. Hall, man. Dude, that's actually insane that he is getting a spinoff. But yeah, that's kind of all I have on the episode. We can kind of get into a review real quick before we end the video. So yeah, man, that was the finale. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I really enjoyed this episode. Now, obviously, it seems very fairy tale. It does seem kind of like happily ever after type of stuff, and I don't always like that. And again, that's why some Dexter seasons were better than the others. Now, back when I was watching the show, like the original, I wasn't as analytical as I am now, and I'm very mad about that because my videos turn out so much better nowadays. But there's that. We always have opportunities to grow on the channel. But man, the whole thing with Debra, we can't just continue to breeze over that. That's so fucking awesome that she joins the police academy now in the prequel. I mean, we kind of expected that, of course, especially with the second season coming, but early in the second season, we're going to get a taste of Debra very early on in Miami Metro. And we even got some of her youthful energy in the original series. You know, she was fighting to become lieutenant and sergeant and all these different positions and all these different police ranks. But now she's going to be fighting through the academy, going through even more trials and tribulations as a police officer, as a cop. So it is going to be so fucking sick to see. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this episode. Again, we're going to continue to post some shorts content. I would stay up for another like half hour and edit. I just shot a Chance the Rapper video that's going to be out on the channel, but I'm gonna go to bed. I think this video is gonna come at you guys Monday the 15th. I hope I will have like all day to edit because there's no NBA Finals games on until Monday, so we will have to see what goes on. But anyways, with that being said, it's been your boy GZTV. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this season. We closed the book on this. We are transitioning back into the MCU. Man, oh fucking man, we still have 5 movies I want to watch in that universe, and I am so damn excited. Stay tuned. I can't wait to get back to movies. I love talking TV shows, but man, the movies are where it's at for me. It's gonna be a blast. I'm gonna see you guys there.